Lab technician from the City of Jackson wastewater treatment plant, Stacie Frelin. Hi, Stacie.
Hi.
Good to see you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
So you work in an area that I would consider probably not one of the glamorous spots of city government.
Mm-hmm.
Wastewater treatment plant. It sounds kind of like it could be a gross job.
It can be. It can be. But it's not really as bad as one might think. So, I mean, I'm sure most people picture, the contents of their toilet, but which it is, but it's not all that. It's very intricate and in depth, and it's very surprising to most people, like how it works.
We need to first differentiate between the water treatment plant and the wastewater treatment plant.
Correct.
Two completely different things.
Separate spots and everything. Yes, we do not make your drinking water. A lot of people think we do, but we do not.
But you've seen the stories, you've seen the videos. People will, their wastewater treatment process is so perfect that you could drink the water.
There are plants that can do that.
Not ours.
No, we don't. We don't have that quality.
What do you do to the water?
So it's all biological. So you use settling to settle things out first and foremost. Well, you screen it first, actually, and then to get the large things out, and then you settle it out, all the heavier things, or the inorganics get settled out. Then the organics get settled out, and that process is separate from the water. So you have your solids in your water. Solids go to a digester tank that changes it with bacteria, and then eventually that gets land applied to fields. And then the water part is also uses what we call them bugs, but it's bacteria. And we use that, and it breaks down the waste and cleans the water, takes all the, like the extra nutrients, and you don't want too much oxygen. And then in the end, it gets sterilized and put into the river.
In the river.
The Grand River.
And you're on the river.
We are. Runs right through the plant.
Green Park.
Yes. Yes.
And can you tell, can you smell as the water that's ahead of the treatment plant and below the treatment plant?
Can I tell?
Yeah.
No. I can't.
You can't.
But
Well, if you can't, then we couldn't.
I doubt it.
Inorganic versus organic. What might show up that's inorganic?
Rocks.
Rocks.
Rocks, sand. We call it grit.
It's not just coming from people's homes.
No, I guess you could get some big-ish ones, but they usually settle out because they're big. So we'll get the smaller ones. We'll get sand. They include eggshells into that, so we get that.
Eggshells.
Eggshells.
So garbage disposal. Where does that go? When people put stuff down, it comes to you?
It does. Laundry, showers, toilets.
Wow, it's a lot.
It is. So.
What shouldn't people flush down the toilet?
Anything that isn't waste or toilet paper. Don't put it down there. Don't put down those wipes, even if they say they're flushable.
They're called flushable wipes.
You can flush them. They'll go down, but then they get caught up in the system and they make these big blockages, and then you have to pay your city worker to go out and unblock things. So it's not good. No feminine hygiene products, none of that. Don't put it down there. So, but we get a lot of things that come into the plant. It's kind of interesting.
Like what?
Toys.
Kids put toys down the
balls,
toilet.
Yeah. Money. Unfortunately, things like drugs and.
When the cops come.
It's not usually much left of that, but like you'll get needles and stuff and straws, and it's an interesting array of things that comes through. Sometimes animals. Yeah.
Dead ones?
Yeah.
They're always
usually.
dead. Yeah. Fish?
I've never heard of a fish actually coming through.
Snakes?
Never heard of that one either. It's rare that you get animals.
Rats, because we hear stories they travel through sewer pipes.
That's what they say. I've never seen one come through.
That's good. I'm comforted.
That's a rare thing.
So just don't flush the flushable wipes.
Don't do that.
Brandon wants to know what should we do with them?
3 throw them away. Throw them away.
Throw them away, not down the toilet.
Not down the toilet.
Now you have had a history of, I'm told, very interesting jobs,
Yes.
and usually with some sort of gross aspect.
Yes.
Like what?
So ever since I got out of college, fisheries and wildlife at State, and one of my first jobs out of college was actually in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and that was as a chronic wasting disease technician, and I would go collect elk heads and remove the lymph nodes, and sometimes that included roadkill, so get right in there.
Yeah, that's gross. So it'd be elks just dead laying in the side of the road.
Sometimes, but it was mostly hunted elk.
Mm.
So I did that, and then I worked for the DNR here, similar, just taking heads off and taking antlers off. We did that for a few seasons. And then I worked for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and this was not a bad job, but on the sea lamprey control. So that was just basically killing sea lamprey on the rivers.
Sea lamprey, because they're invasive.
Yes, yes. And so you would go on the rivers where the young ones are, which sounds terrible, but kill those, and sometimes you have to collect to make sure you're getting what you need to kill out.
Wow. How do you kill them?
It's a lampricide.
A lampricide.
Specific for lamprey.
Wow. And why does the DNR cut off deer heads?
Well, they were doing it for chronic wasting disease testing. So I don't think they're doing that quite as much, not like they were.
And then you saw this job open up at the wastewater treatment plant, and you thought,
did.
that's just for me.
Yeah, well, the job position had a lot of water testing, which I already had with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. So
Your career, or your degree, you have a BS in fisheries and wildlife.
yes,
So does this fit?
it does, because if you really want to get technical about it, what I do there is keeping the river clean and safe, and not just for people, to use, but for the animals and the wildlife and the fish.
I think
that are
what you
around
do, yeah, it's a very important job, because we're proud of the quality of our waters,
Yes.
including Grand River, because it starts here,
Yes,
and we need to make sure it leaves here good.
right. So
Now,
that's what I do.
when you find money, do you get to keep it?
I personally have not found it, but I know some of the wonderful guys that I work with, because it's all guys except for me, have. And I'm pretty sure they just wear gloves and they get it and clean it off. or
Like
whatever.
paper money? Big money? Like wads of it?
Sometimes. No.
Because I can picture the drug dealer, in addition to
Oh.
flushing his...
No, never wads.
Wow. Besides working, you have a family and you have a life outside of the wastewater treatment plant. Tell us a little bit about what's life like for you outside of work.
Married to my husband Nick. He works full-time also for Adiska Contracting, construction. And then I have the two kids. So oldest is 15, she's at Jackson High, and then the youngest is 8, she's at Dibble, and they are a handful, and they they tire me out just by watching them.
Well, we've got to give them a shout out. What are their names?
Aurora is the older, and
Okay.
Charlotte is the younger.
Aurora and Charlotte. You've got a great mom, and she's a superstar on our show today.
Oh boy, I'm never going to live that one down.
Do you, with your interest in fisheries and wildlife, are you an outdoors person?
Yes, yes. One of the very first things I did after getting this job was save up for a vacation, which I took my whole family to my favorite place in the world, which is the Grand Tetons, where I did my work out there. And we did a big, long trip in the Tetons and Yellowstone and Glacier. But my husband and I, a couple years ago, took up backpacking. So we've done a few backpacking trips now. But we go hiking, and we go kayaking, and we go camping, and we go... This year we're going up north to the Pierre Marquette to do some kayaking, and for like a weekend. And
Fun.
it is.
Well, it sounds like you got a fun and busy life, and thanks for the work you do to keep our rivers and waterways and cities safe.
Oh, you were very welcome. I actually enjoy it.
Well, thanks for coming in.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
You bet. From the city of Jackson, our staff spotlight today, wastewater treatment plant laboratory technician, Oh, and also Industrial Pretreatment Program Coordinator,
Yes.
Stacie Frelin.